Welcome to another episode of Hair Biz Radio with your host, Zakiyrah and
Mikey.
Yes, last week we're back. What's new? Anything new? Any updates before we jump into the convo for today?
We got a lot of stuff happening. Actually, Private Label just launched our new custom made-to-order wigs.
Nice.
So we're really expanding our custom wig line. We've pretty much perfected this.
Yeah.
We've been talking about this for a while.
Yeah.
But it's really good now.
One thing I love about it is you can choose your cap size, right?
Exactly.
So I have a small head.
Yes, she does.
So a lot of wigs that I've been buying or that I've bought in the past have been like so big on my head, like it just looks a little bulky, it looks wiggy. And I was like, you know what? Wigs aren't for me. But then I realized it's the size of the wig. It's the density of the wig. Like I need something that's more custom to my actual head size. So I think the new website is really good because people can go on and customize the sizes. That way it fits directly to their head and it's not like one size fits all.
Well, no, actually it's going to even be on Private Label.
Okay, nice.
So like everyone can go to privatelabelextensions.com, check out the new custom wig.
And customize their wig.
Yeah, it says like made to order right now. I don't know if I'm going to change it, but right now it has like a red tag, says made to order. It's mixed in with all our other items. So it looks phenomenal. And we're excited, like we're launching multiple new styles, colors,
nice,
all sorts of designs. So my goal within the next year is to have at least 200 to 300 new designs of wigs, all sorts of colors and everything else. And there's a little extra strategy behind it, which I'll tell you off camera. I can't give you guys too much yet, but it's actually pretty cool. So that's good. Some other news, Built Basics, who still doesn't sponsor this podcast.
They sent you some more stuff?
They have not sent me more stuff, but they keep releasing all this stuff. And this year is the year that I'm like trying not to buy too much, despite me wearing the nice classic Built Basics shirt. Look at these Built Basics pants.
Oh, they look comfortable.
Actually, these would be good for your husband. These pants right here, this model, I got to give you these. Built Basics shoes, of course. I am sporting the Built Basics here because I know all the viewers on YouTube are wondering.
Pretty soon we're gonna have to stop mentioning them if they're not gonna sponsor us.
Look, you're either gonna sponsor me or I'm just not gonna stop. Either way, it's good for them. But,
yeah, it is. Yeah.
So today we're gonna talk about education, why we're not successful sometimes, or in the beginning, investing in education, and that'll segue into if you guys are interested in drop shipping or start a hair business. Later on in the episode, I'm going to tell you about the 2 free courses I launched this week.
Yeah.
That you can take.
Yes. So let's dive into it. Education. I think that I love the saying information changes situations, but applied information changes situations. I think it's so important that as we grow and develop as business owners, as human beings, that we're constantly learning. Like even if it's 10 minutes a day, you're reading something new and then applying it. Even if it's like, hey, I only have 5 minutes a day where I can read this or jump on this course or take this and then I can apply it this week. So it's even if you break it down. But I think that the key to success is always learning and always applying.
It's 100% true.
Yeah.
Actually, Nick, who's sitting out there, him and I were out having a coffee and just going over some business stuff. And I explained to him, I said, Nick, do you know why I'm not a billionaire and why you're not worth 500 million? And he's like, why? I was like, we're just not smart enough.
Yeah.
And until you really think about it and say that and understand it and embrace it, that's the only time you can get better.
Yeah.
I mean, this year, I've really ramped up my time that I spend on education. But I do it in a very crafty way. I don't know if I've told you about this.
Maybe not.
So what I do, this year I am really focused on fitness. Okay. So I'm down about I usually kind of cruise around 205 pounds or so, but my doctor said, look, you lose 10 pounds, it's going to change your life as far as blood pressure and everything else. I said, okay. So he said 10. When he tells me 10, I'm like 20.
Yeah.
So I'm down about 20.
Okay, Mikey.
Yeah. Down 20. And it has really changed everything.
Yeah.
Everything gets.
Do you feel different? Like energy wise? Okay.
Energy.
Yeah.
I sleep better. I'm not carrying those extra 20 pounds around all day.
Yeah.
And it's life changing. My real goal right now is to get down to about 179, 180. That's the same weight that I moved to Atlanta. I moved to Atlanta about 26 years ago. I'm trying to get down to the same weight as to when I moved to Atlanta when I was 21.
Nice.
That's the goals.
And you're almost there.
I'm almost there. And the way I'm doing this is, and I'm kind of doing a 2-for-1. So right now, my time, I'm very, very limited on time. Okay. So what I do is I try to do a 2-for-1. I also understand how I learn very different. Do you understand how you learn? Like, when you're like in that zone, the best way you can learn, right?
Yeah. I'm more of a hands-on learner. Like I need to do it as I'm learning. That way I can retain it. Because if I just read something, if I'm not like totally invested in what I'm reading, I won't remember what I'm reading, and then it'll be hard for me to apply it. But if for example, if I'm reading a self-help book and it's teaching me stuff about finances, I'm going to take notes while I'm doing it, and then maybe while I'm reading it or immediately after, I may implement one thing that I learned then, and that kind of helps me retain the information.
Perfect.
Yeah.
So my biggest problem is being able to sit and focus, right? We all know this working here. I'm all over the place, but I have figured out ways to kind of get around that. So what I've focused on doing now is I work out at the gym in the morning, and instead of listening to music, just as motivating for me as music is learning new things.
Podcast.
A lot of stuff on YouTube. I have some favorite YouTubers. Like I've really dove into SEO this year.
Nice.
To kind of do a whole 2024 refresh, and then trying to figure out what's going to happen in the future, which we'll do an episode later on about search and AI, because now ChatGPT is coming out with search.
I think I did see that. Did I see that?
It's going to be a big competitor to Google, so Google's not going to like that. So what I do is I actually listen while I work out, and then at night, I've really ramped up my walking this month. So my goal is I'm doing 6 miles a day at night.
Every day?
Every day. So it takes about 1 hour and 45 minutes. During that time, I'm learning. So I have like my little side pouch thing, and I'm playing my videos where I'm working out, and then like the next day, I'm like implementing some of the stuff I'm learning.
Nice.
So what that does is it allows me to learn, because if I just try to sit there and learn, then it's hard for me to kind of stay focused, because I always feel like I should be working or working out. So what it does is allows me to work out while working.
Yeah.
So if you're listening to this, which if you hear me, you are.
Right.
What you need to really do is find out how you learn. This wasn't something I figured out into probably my early 30s.
Yeah.
That figure out what works for me, because it's going to be, as you get older, especially,
it changes.
It changes.
It changes. Yeah, it definitely does.
So you spend time and really focus on how you can learn, you will earn.
Yeah. I realized also that I learn better YouTube, or like not even podcasts. One thing that I love is if I'm listening to a podcast, if it's on YouTube, I'm going straight to YouTube, because I like to see.
I love it.
I like to see the actual class or podcast or whatever it is. But I realized when I was in school, I never did really good on like tests. I like just did almost good on like tests and stuff, because it wasn't great for me to just read a book, study it, and then go take a test about what I learned. Like I really actually needed. I always did really well on tests when the lecturers would go through slides and then give like real life examples, and then I'm taking notes during the real life examples. I always did great on those tests. But for the tests that were like, all right, read chapter 7, and then we're going to take an exam for 7 through 10 on Friday, I never did really well on those. And I realized it's because I can't just read and then take that and put it in a scenario and make it good. Like I could never do that. So learning and understanding how you learn is going to be really good for you to actually grasp and be able to apply the things that you're learning.
Yeah. So many times too, people will spend so much time just all learning and no implementation.
Yeah.
And you talked about it in the beginning. So you have to, start working on things. Even if you mess it up, it's okay.
Yeah.
I just had lunch with my niece she's going off to college. And
already?
I know.
Oh my God.
She's going off to college, guys. Jesus, I'm a little worried. And I even told her, I said, Sadie, when you make a mistake or you fail at something, there are 2 ways you can think about it. And entrepreneurship is, I already told her, I was like, it's 80, 90% mental, opposed to just doing work, right? I said, you can look at it as a learning experience, or you can look at it as a failure. And 100%, the only one that can make the decision it's like hot or cold
Yeah.
is you.
Yeah.
Right. So that's the same thing. A lot of people ask me too, how I'm happy all the time. Right. I say, because every morning I wake up, I have two options. I can wake up and say, I'm going to be in a good mood. I'm going to wake up and be in a bad mood, despite everything going on in my life.
Yeah.
Some things in my life are going great.
Yeah.
Some things are really tough.
Yeah.
Right. But I'm still going to say, hey, I'm going to try to be in that good mood.
Yeah. Go back and explain the entrepreneurship is 80 to 90% mental. What's your breakdown or philosophy on
So
that?
she's taking some entrepreneurial classes and she
Mhm.
was going over and reading it. I said, oh, this is exciting. Because
Yeah.
really, the first 18 years of her life, she's about to turn 18. I was like, you know what, Sadie, I was always there, but I wasn't really involved in kind of your life because you're like in high school, you're doing like little things with your friends and
Yeah.
stuff. I was like, that's not my lane.
Yeah.
I don't have kids, I have cats.
Yeah.
Okay? So this is not my lane. I don't really have a higher level understanding. You know, your mom, my sister, is an amazing mom.
Yeah.
I was like, your dad, my stepbrother, he's literally a genius.
Yeah.
I was like, you're in good hands there. But once you turn 18 and get into like college and start figuring out stuff and
Yeah.
entrepreneurship and all this other stuff, that's where I'm going to come in.
Yeah.
Right? I said, if there's like a meter of safety, I said, my sister is like all the way over here. I'm
Safe. Yeah.
I'm like, you know, I'm like all the way over here. I was like, I'm going for it all.
Yeah.
I will take the risks.
Yeah.
But I explained to her that, you know, a lot of times what crushes entrepreneurs and people in entrepreneurship, it's the mental side and
Yeah.
dealing with the day-to-day of things going wrong, things not going as you planned. Oh, I had this master plan. I worked on it for 6 months. I launched my site or this new project and no one bought.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've been there many times. Like I'm the king of that, you know?
Yeah.
A little better at this stuff now.
Yeah.
But I've also been doing this for 20 years. 20 years. And even today, some things come into my mind and it's really tough to be an entrepreneur.
Yeah.
And I was like, it's just one of those things. I got to just keep going. I was also explaining to her about problems. Entrepreneurship and just business is a lot of solving problems.
Yeah.
In your first year, you have small problems and you figure them out. The next year, your problems get a little bit bigger and you figure them out. And as long as you keep going in entrepreneurship, every year you have bigger problems.
The problems get bigger. Yeah.
The problems get bigger, but you get better at figuring out problems.
Yeah.
And you figure it out. Think of someone like Elon Musk. Could you imagine the problems he has people to handle a lot of the stuff. Could you imagine how many problems, rockets blowing up, you know, people crashing their Teslas because they're pretending they're like sleeping. They're like sleeping and they're on autopilot and they're crashing and they're like blaming him and like all the stuff he goes through, whether you like him as an entrepreneur or not.
Right.
Think about all his problems. We are talking a world-class, never seen before amount of problems. And somehow this guy still does it. I have no idea.
Yeah.
You can keep your $1 billion. I don't want all these problems. But I'm not ready for it.
Yeah. Because there's stages and
it's all stages.
Yeah.
And that's the problem when, you know, we help with people starting hair businesses, right? That's the problem where people try to jump to much further. We call it like a book with chapters.
Yeah.
People try to skip those chapters like, whoa.
Yeah.
Stop trying to skip those chapters.
You got to go through every single chapter to get to the end of the book. It's like if you're reading a fiction novel and you go from chapter 1 to like 7, you're going to miss the whole meat of what happened in between. Then you get to the end and you're like, dang, how did that happen? Like I missed what happened here. It's like because you didn't read the entire book. It's the same thing with life, like in business.
For sure. And life as well.
Yeah.
And all I can say is enjoy the journey.
Yeah.
Really embrace your good times, your highs. They wouldn't reach that high if you didn't have lows.
Yeah.
Right. That's why a lot of times people that start businesses like, hey, look, if you come from like all this money and all this kind of stuff, look, that's great for you.
Mm-hmm.
But once you have all that, like your highs, that's where people get into like really weird stuff is because they already have everything they could ever buy.
Yeah.
And it's like, well, what's next? And they start going off the deep end with stuff. That's why a lot of the successful entrepreneurs are the people that had literally nothing. And then they grew their business and their life to start having stuff. And then once you get stuff, then you realize, I don't want any of it.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm at that point. I've been at that point for a while. Literally, I'm working on clearing out everything I own.
Wow.
I say, like, if I can't fit it all in my little car,
you don't want it.
I don't want it. That's like my goal.
Yeah.
Hopefully by the end of the year. There's a place, actually, have you heard of ThreadUp?
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 No, is it
Oh,
like
you
for
know ThreadUp?
clothes?
Okay, ThreadUp is this thing. I just found it. You like order this bag, you put all your clothes. It's got to be like good shape and shoes and other stuff, good shape. And you send it to them and they sell it for you. Now,
Oh,
you don't get like,
a
a
ton
good
of money.
cut,
Yeah.
but I'm like, I'm just trying to get rid of it.
Yeah.
I'm like,
I normally take my stuff to Cheapskate or Plato's Closet,
they
and
buy it?
they buy used clothing as long as it's something that they could sell. They buy it for like a percentage of what they would sell it for.
Okay, that's pretty good.
Yeah.
Usually I have like a bag of clothes I'm giving away in my trunk. And like I get so busy that I don't have time to drop it. I drop it off in one of those bins sometimes.
Yeah.
But I will usually run into somebody that is home challenged.
Yeah.
And be like, pull up. They see me get out of I got a wild looking car. I get out of that boy. And he's like, what the hell is this? And I'll be like, bro, this is perfect size for you.
Yeah.
This is going to be all new clothes for you.
Yeah, I love that. I had a bag that was sitting in my car probably for like a month in my trunk just because I hadn't had time to take it and go to the Plato's and Cheapskate and wait for them to. No, it didn't. But I got to the point where I was in Atlanta. No, but somebody actually did break into the car the other week. But we're in Atlanta. But it was in my car, and then I finally took it to Plato's. Of course, they didn't buy everything in there, and I was like, you know what? I just dropped it off to a shelter because I was like, I can't. It's just sitting there. You know how the feeling of like if your car isn't clean or like the house isn't clean, you just feel kind of discombobulated or all over the place. Yeah, like I just need structure and organization.
Yeah, I forgot India sells her stuff on some other app.
Maybe Poshmark. Yeah, I used that before, but I don't have patience I have a lot of stuff on there, but I didn't have the patience to wait for it to sell.
Yeah.
So I just took it to the store.
Our time is better focused on other stuff like learning.
Definitely learning. So let's get into these courses. So what's crazy is maybe 3 or 4 years ago, we did the 52-week course back on Thinkific, and it was for marketing, and we literally took people through from like start to finish, step 1, step 2, no skipping steps. It was like you couldn't even get to this step until you finish this step, and it was like the release of the staggered stairs. So what is the new course? What's the difference between the course back then and the new course? Of course, information, of course, more detail, of course, all of that, but what is the new course?
So I created 2 new courses. They're both free, by the way.
It's free courses.
Courses. They're to help support our current drop shipping service, starting hair business service. I'm getting feedback from the team. A lot of the same questions. Okay. So the first one is if you're looking into getting into drop shipping, we have the Dropship Beauty app, which integrates with Shopify. There's no easier way to start a hair business.
Right. Literally a click of a button. Start your Shopify store. You could get a free template, free, what do they call them?
Theme.
Yeah, free theme. And then literally download the Dropship Beauty app on the site and then press a couple buttons and that's it.
And I basically walk you through step by step.
Okay, so it's like a tutorial for setting up.
Right. Okay. So what's good about that is if it's something you're considering, if you have self-doubt, like, I don't know, I'm not real technical, I don't know if I can do this, it walks you through every step. I mean, Kiki actually just texted me earlier today and she's like, Mikey, this is game changer, blah, blah, blah. Because I'm making all the staff take the courses. Okay. Because as people are calling in and asking questions,
they have to be knowledgeable. Yeah.
Well, not just that, they can say, hey, this is actually in our free course. Let me text you a link and go take the course.
That's good. Yeah.
So that course is just all Dropship Beauty, walks you through. I've had a lot of fun recording it.
Nice.
And then I actually was sitting in this seat maybe last week with Mr. Dowie back there. And we recorded, I actually did pretty good. Dowie afterwards said, Mikey, I've been filming for 20 years and I've never seen someone so amazing at recording video.
I'm sure he did not say that.
Laugh back there. No, he didn't say that. But it was 30 videos. And I just had the
scripts.
No, I didn't have any script. It was just what the topic was for each script. And I just I think I messed up once or twice. I was on fire that day. I had some of my coffee from home.
Homemade coffee.
I rarely go out and spend money on coffee now.
So which course is this?
This is the like dropshipping 101, like hair dropshipping 101 course.
Okay.
So it segues. What's cool about this is a couple things. first is you have to go through each step.
Okay. Yeah.
So to get through to the next lesson, you have to finish the first lesson.
Okay.
And it keeps going through, and it's about 35 lessons. Download checklists for like your marketing, and there's like a bunch of free resources in this course. All that can be found on hairbusinessblueprint.com, and we'll have that in the show notes. But basically what it does is it walks you through all the steps of getting your business started.
Okay.
About wholesale versus drop shipping. Kind of, we've talked about that on this podcast before. And it kind of goes through the whole thing. Now, what's cool about this is we sell the website templates. So on dropshipbeauty.com, we sell the pre-made website templates where we'll design your site. We'll take your information, your photos, set up your about page, your contact page. We'll set up your site. It's turnkey. So what I did is I said, hey, if you finish this course, we're going to give you at the end $100 off coupon for this website service.
Nice. The drop ship.
And that's like, the website service is $299.
Where they build the website out for you.
We build it for you. So this is $100 off that. Now, what's cool about that is I'm going to have a more advanced course that's going to probably be about $200.
Okay.
But when you buy that website, it's also going to give you a coupon to get that $200 course for free.
Nice.
And because it's kind of like, okay, we have all the information now for you to learn about the first course about starting your business and kind of making sure this is what you do. Expectations.
Yep.
Like, hey, if it's a problem with your Shopify store, contact Shopify. Our customer service loves you, but stop calling them to like fix your checkout. Shopify, you pay them. They have great customer support.
Their support is really good.
Contact them. They will fix it for you. We can't do that.
Yeah.
So it kind of goes over the roles and responsibilities.
Okay. Yeah.
The customer service team was like, Mikey, thank you. Set everybody straight because people need to know.
Yeah.
Because these are a lot of people new in e-commerce. So it kind of goes through all that stuff. So I wanted to make sure we have one course, the app specific, one course, how to get your business started. And then the next course is, hey, we built this website for you, or maybe you have your own website. What the heck do I need to do next?
So is this the marketing?
That's going to be the next course that I'm working on.
Okay.
But I'm finally back. I've been real distracted with a lot of stuff inside the business. I've cleared a lot of that stuff out. So now I'm back to recording the Hair Business Blueprint channel, my YouTube channel, back to recording on there. So I'm excited about that. I'm going, for 10 years, every year I say I'm going heavy into video.
Yeah, you do. You've been saying that.
10 years straight. But my YouTube channel actually is, it's a little competition. Private Labels YouTube, make sure you subscribe. Private Labels YouTube. I headed to Private Labels YouTube versus Hair Business Blueprint, the most subscribers. So Private Label just recently overtook Hair Business Blueprint.
Okay.
Private Label's at like 13,000, Hair Business Blueprint's at 12,200.
Nice.
So if you are listening to this, which I know you are because you can hear me, I always say that. I would love for you to subscribe you can subscribe to Private Labels, fine. Hair Business Blueprint, please subscribe, support me. Okay. I will teach you a lot for free.
Yeah.
That's my goal.
For free. Yeah.
So I really need to ramp that up because one of my goals in life is to get that YouTube plat kind of like this. Guys, this is the Shopify, kind of like if you reach a certain milestone in Shopify. We did 100,000 orders in about 3 years, 2.5 years, 3 years.
That's really good.
So Shopify sent us that. So Shopify has 1 out of 1,000,000. Same with kind of YouTube. So I want that YouTube 100,000. Even though it's different channel because this podcast is put on Private Label, I want to put it like up here or somewhere. Just take a picture with it.
Yeah, almost there.
I'm 12% there.
Yeah.
Almost. I'm enjoying the journey though. But that's the thing.
Yeah, it goes back to what we were talking about steps. You can't skip any steps in the journey.
You can't skip any steps in the journey.
Yeah, and I'm sure you'll learn if this is the year going into 2025 that you're going to focus on video.
You know why I don't have 100,000 subscribers on YouTube?
Because you haven't put in 10,000 hours.
I haven't been consistent.
Yeah.
I haven't been as dedicated.
Yeah.
I haven't spent as much time, although I am now learning about how to really work the YouTube algorithm.
Yeah.
I haven't perfected my videos. I haven't perfected my content. I have made tons of mistakes.
Yeah.
But I will still get to 100,000 because I will figure that stuff out.
Absolutely. What's your goal? Or when? What's the end goal? The ending date goal? What's your date goal?
to reach 100,000?
Yeah.
It's tough. I because it's very specific education about like anyone could plug and play hair for another industry. but I'm very hair specific about what I'm teaching.
Yeah.
So are there 100,000 entrepreneurs that would want to learn on YouTube about the hair extension business? Maybe.
Maybe, yeah. I'm sure.
Maybe.
Yeah.
I mean, we have, on the podcast as a worldwide audience.
Yeah.
So like maybe I can get the Hair Business Blueprint to have a worldwide audience. I don't know. I think I could, if I was really consistent and I'm working on a lot of things, maybe get it next year. If I really ramped it up.
Yeah.
Think about if you sign up for these free courses, like that's a lead magnet as well. So, hey, you sign up for this course, you're going to be getting a text from me says, okay, hey, thanks for signing up for the course. Now you need to subscribe to Hair Business Blueprint.
Yeah.
There's a lot you can do with that as with automations and the marketing, which I'm really getting into now. I'm having a lot of fun with it. And I'm just been waiting for the hair business to pick up too, because it's been so slow this year.
Yeah. Everything is high. Now everything is high and people aren't spending as much money as they used to spend, especially on the things that they're spending it on. So hopefully the industry does kind of shift in the next 6 months or so. We'll see.
Yeah, it's interesting. Have you ever spent a lot of money on a course other than college?
Other than college, I'm sure I have. I can remember. I have to think about it. I know I have.
Well,
I just can't remember.
I like to look back at when we were starting. We had this business going for years actually, but we're still kind of like teetering with, a very low bank account balance. And
I have. I spent. It was a Turo business course. It was like $1,500 to learn how to purchase cars or run out cars on Turo to make money.
Okay, so you took the Turo course.
Yeah.
And then after taking that course, did you say this is not for me and then didn't get into the business, or what happened?
So after we did the Turo course, we set up the account. We went and looked at some cars, test drove some cars. Went through the application process and then decided to do a little bit more research. And during that time, a lot of people were successful on Turo, but it was starting to kind of slow down. And the opportunity cost wasn't the best for us because we would be spending money to get car loans. Like we wouldn't be buying the cars outright. So it just financially didn't make sense to continue. So we got the knowledge, but we weren't able to really apply it because the terms were just not favorable.
So here's what I want you to think about is that $1,500 probably saved you $20, $30, $40, $50,000 in auto loans into a business that you said is not for you.
That is true. Yeah, that's very true. Yeah.
So that's a good way to think about that.
Yeah.
That happens when you pay. Sometimes you have to pay a substantial amount. Like when I do my courses, I've always underpriced everything significantly.
Definitely, because the information is definitely valuable.
I just want people to learn.
Yeah.
Right? I like helping people, but I think you have to have a paywall somewhere at some level.
Yeah.
Just otherwise, if everything
people
is
have
free,
to make an investment in order to feel it. Like I know that anything that is free, we don't take as seriously.
Right.
Most people. Some people may, and that might be like the 1% of people. But I think that in order for you to like stay on it, you have to pay for it because it's your hard-earned money that you like, okay, I'm spending money on this. I'm going to make sure that I use what it is that I spend
for sure.
on. Yeah.
Well, when in 2017, I'll never forget, I know you remember, I took that course with Neil Patel's group, the marketing course.
Yeah.
$1,000. We didn't have $1,000 in the business for this. I said, okay, spending $1,000. I said, I need to make my money back on this because I don't have $1,000 right now.
Yeah.
Spent $1,000, took the course. That course opened up my mind. Special shout out to Vignesh. I haven't seen Vignesh in a while. He is one of the main guys for the course. Neil Patel had helped. He's a huge SEO marketing guy. He had helped record a lot of the courses, the lessons, but then the ongoing training was this guy Vignesh, who was awesome to work with. I ended up hiring them as consultants later.
Oh yeah.
That $1,000 course though made me like $1 million.
Nice.
It really, because it wasn't just the information in the course.
Yeah.
And it was later talking to Vignesh about certain things that I didn't think were possible. And then he would ask me, well, why is it not possible?
So the course itself or the is that combined with the coaching that you got after?
So the course opened up my mind, and then talking to Vignesh kind of put the fuel on the fire.
Okay. Yeah.
And, that's when I started asking why a lot more about why isn't this possible?
Yeah.
And that's why I live today about certain things. People like, Mikey, I talked earlier about walking 6 miles a day.
Yeah.
It's really not a huge deal.
Yeah.
But people said, well, why would you walk 6 miles? Isn't it hard? And I said,
or how do you have time to walk 6 miles?
I don't have time.
And exactly. You make time.
I make time.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't watch TV.
Yeah.
It's like I could sit and watch Netflix.
Yeah.
Or, I learn and walk.
Yeah.
But it's one of those things that if you want to be successful, act like your life depends on it.
Yeah.
Once you start acting like your life depends on certain things that you need to get done in your business, it's funny how things get done.
Yeah.
Really treat it like that.
Yeah. And you have to, I know we've done an episode before on time management. And I think a lot of people's downfall is that we don't manage our time properly.
For sure.
Yeah.
You got to focus on energy. And that's why I like working out a lot, because it helps clear my mind. As an entrepreneur, we talked about it's very mental.
Mm-hmm.
My energy level has to be strong, consistent throughout the day.
Yeah.
Right? Because if I have these lulls and other stuff in energy, I'm not getting stuff done.
Mm-hmm.
I'm in trouble.
Yeah.
Right? And you have to remember, in business is all about getting things done fast.
Yep.
Quickly. It doesn't have to be perfect.
Yeah.
You have to get it done quickly. Otherwise, the other company, who's your competition, if they're getting stuff done faster, it's not a guarantee, but they have a much better chance of winning in the game of business. And it's all a game.
Yeah.
It's all a game.
Mm-hmm.
Winning in the game of business, they're going to get ahead of you at some point.
Yeah. Agreed. So yeah, you got to make sure that you are learning, educating yourself in the business. I think that any business that you start, it's going to be important that you learn the business and then that you continue to learn the updates in the business, because I'm pretty sure from the time the hair business started to now, so many things were evolving. So many things have shifted. So many things changed. And what we applied back in 2015, 16 are not the same things that apply now. So you have to continuously learn and educate yourself in this business. So make sure y'all go check out the courses, the free courses, and you can find those on hairbizblueprint.com. Also, make sure you subscribe to the Hair Business Blueprint YouTube channel. And subscribe to the podcast, y'all, because we need to see the downloads. We need the downloads, comment, subscribe, like all
reviews.
The things. Reviews too. Yes. So thank y'all for rocking with us and staying tuned for this website. And staying tuned for this podcast episode.
We'll be in touch soon. Later.